Hello and welcome to some more Star Citizen. We've got the latest Star Citizen Alpha 3.20 roadmap update, a couple of new ships there. We've got phase 2 of the ship Showdown, and we've actually got the matchups for that event, and a meme about Star Citizen conventions not showing anything real that I do want to delve into. Roadmap updates first. So, we have some additions to what's going to be added to Star Citizen Alpha 3.20.x. So not the 3.20 initial launch, but coming in a X patch within sort of a couple of months of that. So we've got the Crusader C1 Spirit. So we know that the A1 is planned for 3.20.x as well, and the Cloud Imperium said, yeah, that's the A1, the bomber variant. That's the first one that's turning up. But it also looks like the C1 is turning up in 3.20.x as well. And we've got the Tumbril Storm for 3.20.x. So yeah, the little light storm speedy tank. I say light, I mean, it's light for a tank. It's a single person tank. Really looking forward to seeing those two in game. That Spirit C1 I do think is going to actually replace my Drake Cutlass Blacks as the daily driver, because it's just going to have so many uses. It's got a solid cargo bay, it's got a little bit of multi-crew, it can do a little bit of everything in game, and it looks pretty awesome, although it might have quite a large profile when it's being shot at. We still don't have any details of what's happening for the Q4 releases at the moment, which is a little bit upsetting at the moment. The only thing we know about Q4 is they're going to have the 3.20.x patch, but obviously we're expecting a 3.21 or a 4.0, much more likely 3.21. Now, I don't think we're going to see the jump points and pyro or server meshing by the end of the year, but it's possible. The phase 2 of the ship Showdown continues. So we have the top 16 ships now going against each other in 1v1 popularity contests every day. So every day at 4 PM UTC, a new ship matchup will be fighting each other, and you can vote on your favourites. Why would you want to? That's because the winner of each bracket will go into the Elite 8, and they're going to be available to free fly from August 31st to September 7th. The top 4 ships will also receive in-game accoutrements exclusive to them and their pilots, which will be revealed later this year, as well as a manufacturer-themed in-game poster, all for free. This also includes special paint jobs that will be revealed at the Intergalactic Aerospace Expo in November. So people are incentivized to vote for ships that they like and that they own. Cloud Imperium say your votes are more than just clicks. They are a testament to your love for engineering excellence. With your help, one ship will be crowned the ultimate winner, joining the ranks of other legendary champions of the biggest annual space smackdown in the verse, and be unlocked to free fly for a month for all backers. So that's the ultimate winner, will also be available for a whole month for everyone. So what are those matchups? So currently it's the Murai Fury versus the Anvil Arrow. The Arrow is almost certainly going to win that. It's winning at the moment. I was hoping that the Fury would actually get placed against less popular ships to start with, because I do think it would go quite far. We've got the RSI Scorpius versus the Aegis Redeemer. I personally think the Scorpius will win that. Then match 3, we've got the Aegis Reclaimer versus the Drake Vulture. Probably the Vulture. I think it's pretty popular and it's a cool ship. Then match 4, we've got the Anvil Terrapin versus the Anvil Carrack. Carrack almost certainly going to win. It's actually won 2 ship showdowns previously. We've got the Drake Corsair versus the Mercury Star Runner. I think the Mercury Star Runner will probably win that. They're both like very, very high in my favourite ships list, although the Mercury Star Runner is my favourite ship. So, and then we've got the RSI Constellation Andromeda versus the Drake Cutlass Black. I would expect the Cutlass Black to win that. And then we've got the Origin 400i versus the Origin 600i Explorer. If the 600i wasn't waiting for a sort of big update and rework, I would say that it would win, but I don't know. I don't know which is more popular out of those 2 ships, and they're very similar, sort of very similar for people's needs, I suppose. The final matchup in this particular phase is the Drake Cutter versus the Origin 890 Jumper. An interesting David versus Goliath matchup there. A lot of people obviously own Drake Cutters, but the 890 Jump community is pretty powerful. So the winners of all of those matchups will then go into the top 8, and as I said previously, we get them for free fly. And I believe it's a public free fly as well, so anyone will be able to try Star Citizen for free from August 31st to September 7th. The Origin 890 Jump is on sale in some limited number currently too. I would expect a wider sale to go ahead as well at some point, almost certainly when it's the top 8 ships. Then they'll go, bam, it's free fly, bam, some ships that are available cheap in little discounts on starter packs, and then look at all these top 8 ships which are also on sale. Really interested to know who you think's actually going to win the ship showdown. I do think that typically the sort of Carrack, Mercury Star Runner, Corsair, things like that typically rank pretty high, but obviously the Corsair and the Mercury Star Runner are going against each other in the first round here, so only one of them can go ahead. I might look at doing something like the ship showdown, but for concept and yet to be flyable ships and vehicles. And that's something to mention this year as well. The Cargo Argo, that's not here. There's no vehicles here, it's just spaceships. Bat Fury's the only snub. Anyway, moving on to another topic. I saw a Reddit post that said, could someone break down what each of these things is from? I realised some are self-evident. And it was basically, I couldn't tell if they were actually asking a genuine question or if they were just trying to get attention to like a meme. And because the meme has 9 pictures of different things that Star Citizen has previously promised or wanted to have, which have yet to appear or have been canned. With the message, reminder, things shown at CIG conventions are not real. So I just want to go over this set of pictures from top left going to bottom right. So reminder, there we've got the Mad Cats HOTAS that CIG wanted to produce. I believe this was revealed in 2015, but then Logitech bought a large portion of Mad Cats and Scitech, which appears to have canned the project. I'm assuming that CIG got a bit of a payout for a broken contract there? I say broken contract, a buyout of a contract. Then the next, the Sphere, that is the Satterball Arena. Satterball, I believe, revealed in 2015, was supposed to be an Ender's Game style sort of PvP mode where you'd be flying around in 0G with a little grappling hook and a stun gun and have to try and get a ball into the enemy's goal. Actually, like a fun little game mode. It got canned though. I believe there were some issues with Ilphonic and their contract with CIG to get a load of the FPS stuff done. They had made it at the wrong scale, and this is a miscommunication with Ilphonic and CIG, it looks like, and basically a load of work from the FPS side of things got canned and pushed. Satterball was one of these things, and please correct me if I'm wrong on that story, but I believe that's what's happened. Might be possible that we'll see that again in the future, but it could be like turning up an experimental mode in the future. In fact, I expect it will, but it's very much not a priority. Then we've got Star Citizen 4.0 and jump points, and this is referring to a slide that was shown in 2015 or 2016, where we were expecting in the not too distant future to be able to travel to multiple star systems, have exploration and discovery gameplay, science and research gameplay, additional solar system locations, and the RSI Orion and Anvil Crucible. Star Citizen heavily reprioritized and scaled up since then. And yes, we have constantly been gaslit for Pyro and 4.0 and jump points and lots of this sort of content. Really, Cloud Imperium are pushing towards that. Their changing and shifting priorities and sort of expanding scale are often a mystery to me. In the last few years, though, Cloud Imperium have been much better at showing off and talking about stuff that is genuinely near future. I say, with no irony, waiting for Pyro, but more generally, things shown at CitizenCons and as part of presentations and stuff are things that are more tangible and they give more accuracy with them. They're not perfect. They certainly get things wrong. Obviously, still waiting on 4.0 server meshing Pyro. Then middle left, that's part of the Morrow Tour. That was, again, I believe, 2015, where the player character in Squadron 42 is taken to the Idris aboard a Argo personnel carrier and then given a bit of a tour around the Idris by a chatterbox Morrow. That's not real or anything. That's severely improved since then as well. That's just a part of Squadron 42 that isn't in our hands yet. Just because we don't literally have it in our hands at the moment doesn't mean it's not real. The center picture, that is of a sandworm on Lear 2. That was of a tech demo that Cloud Imperium showed of weather, planets, sandworms, cool stuff, things, and the sand nomads, kind of a cross-section of gameplay of this is what it's going to be like, and look at the cool stuff that we'll have in the future. Yes, the sandworm is not a real thing we're going to have in-game for a while, and it was sort of faked AI-wise there. It was much more pre-scripted and all that sort of jazz. We will still have it in the future, probably quite a long way off though. Center right, that is a picture from the Squadron 42 vertical slice. Ha, that's not from a convention. You fool! That was from a presentation they did at the end of 2017, I believe. They just went, look at the cool stuff that's coming with Squadron 42. This is a Squadron 42 pre-alpha vertical slice showing off a section of the game, where they showed off a section of a mission flying from the sort of Idris, going and dealing with some bad guys, then actually going to a planet, or a moon actually, Gainey, flying down to the surface and doing some FPS puzzles and combat. Again, that's Squadron 42, and actually expect that to look significantly more polished and awesome now. Then we have, at the bottom left, we have Tony Zorovik's Quanta System, the dynamic universe simulator, sort of NPCs that move around and are generated and sort of tracked based on what the economy's doing, and that affects the economy and mining and where pirates spawn and security forces spawn and loads of stuff. This was sort of shown off at CitizenCon 2019. Some of it, little tiny bits of it, are in-game already, but it is this hugely complex beast, and Cloud Imperium are working on it at the moment. I would expect to see a big update of it at CitizenCon this year. Then we have the bottom picture is of a gameplay demo of a Microtech infiltration shown at 2019 CitizenCon. Basically, they infiltrated this sort of lab, wearing a lab coat and having a little badge, and they sort of extracted some data, escaped the facility. They showed off some weather, and then got into a Carrack and flew to Pyro, and then used the jump point to get to Pyro there. I actually think we're just about to get the type of missions that they showed there in like 3.20 and 3.21 later this year. Obviously, jump points, Pyro, still waiting on. It is something that very much was a demo that Cloud Imperium were going, look at what we're going to have in the not too distant future. It is a bit further than the not too distant future now, I must admit. It is 2023. That was shown at towards the end of 2019. And then bottom right, we have Pyro 2 being shown off. This was a demo or gameplay demo of Get the Hadesian Artifact, I believe. It showed off the 400i flying down to Pyro 2 and basically a little settlement there, and the 3 ways that you could go about getting this valuable artifact. You can land there and you can pay for it from the trader, or you could try and go in all guns blazing, but there are turrets and things that you need to be concerned about if that's the case. And then the other way is sort of sneak in and sort of stealth in and sort of take out targets of opportunity as you sort of get into the safe there and then steal the artifact. That was sort of showing off, again, some future gameplay of certain mission types that they'd expect. Now, I want Cloud Imperium to show off cool stuff at CitizenCons and whenever they can, and I'm fine with them showing us examples of gameplay and stuff like, oh look, we've built this and we're going to evolve this and eventually this will become a mission, or some of these things won't become missions, or we'll use some parts of them or ideas of them in other missions. Stuff like this for Squadron 42 and the vertical slices and stuff, yeah, them showing us that sort of stuff is fine. Obviously some things do get delayed or canned or sort of just stop, like with the Star Citizen HOTAS. Maybe we'll see one in the future, but it's not going to be a Mad Catz one or a SciTech one. What's going to happen with the Satterball Ender's Game? A lot of people aren't going to know what Ender's Game is anymore, but what's going to happen with Satterball? Well, maybe we will see it in the future. Cloud Imperium giving updates on when we're going to see sort of Pyro and 4.0 and jump points and stuff has traditionally always been poor. They're terrible with dates. But these presentations and these gameplay demos that Cloud Imperium show, I do think are important. I do think they're cool, and I do think that they're not essential, but they are useful. Like, they are going to be like, look, we want to have a sandworm eventually. Yeah, we faked a sandworm, but it looks cool, and it's a good indicator of what a sandworm and how it will act in the future will be, even if we have had to fake it for the CitizenCon demo. Obviously, I don't want them to spend huge amounts of time on that sort of stuff. I don't want them to spend like a year of developer time making a sandworm that's only going to be seen once at CitizenCon, and hopefully that's not what's happening there. That said, Cloud Imperium are expanding out massively. They've obviously gone from like 7 people all back when they started all the way up now, trying to breach past like 1,200, I think, maybe even 1,500 in the next 3 years. Massive studio in the UK, massive studio in Frankfurt, big studios in Austin and LA. And they've obviously built out Turbulent as well in Montreal. Anyway, I thought it was just nice to sort of talk about that sort of stuff. And yeah, if you're in the opinion of CIG shouldn't be showing off tech demo type stuff, even if it is bits that are going to be built into the game, because it's not realistic of gameplay we're going to have potentially ever, because it will evolve, or if they should be just showing off stuff that's going to be near future, definitely in our hands, bam, show us that. What would you like to see at CitizenCon? Do you think Cloud Imperium have been previously dishonest with things like that? Or do you think it's just shifting priorities and general game development? They've been poor with their predictions. Whatever your thoughts, I'd love to hear from you in the comments below, and I will chuck in the link to the Reddit thread that I saw with that in as well. For those of you that are keeping your eyes peeled, you will have noticed that the Tobii Eye Tracker 5 is on sale again until the 8th of September. They are natively supported in Star Citizen, giving you precision head and eye tracking that can help with immersion, as well as adding another level of control to your toolset. It's a cool piece of tech that you can use for streaming and seeing where your eyes are going, and loads of other games are supported too. Check out my links below to get one of those at discount. Are we alone in the universe? The truth is out there, but what if aliens visit Earth? But they're like monsters, and all they do is look through your internet history, judging you, laughing at you with all their alien friends, watching your every move live, and then they send like 1 million ads to you about alien products that you don't want, like those shoes and socks that have a gap between your big toes. No one needs that. But what you do need is nordvpn.com/BoredGamer, which helps you prevent that happening from the more real threat of humans doing the same. It encrypts your internet connection, hides your IP address and location, it has an inbuilt ad blocker, and also helps you gain access to region-based content. You should go to nordvpn.com/BoredGamer and get a big old discount. You can also click the links below. Every month, we have a ship giveaway. For August, it's for a Crusader Mercury Star Runner with lifetime insurance. This medium-sized, well-armed cargo and data hauler is great for trying out a huge range of what Star Citizen has to offer, a perfect mission runner ship. To be in for a chance of winning, just comment on any of my videos made during the month. More details in the description below. There are some amazing people that help support the channel by clicking on the join button under my videos and becoming a channel member or becoming a Patreon with the links below. That helps keep the channel going and producing daily content. Please consider joining their ranks, but commenting, liking, subscribing, that all massively helps too. Thanks for watching to the end, and I'll see you in the verse.